And he played for the Chicago White Sox. And Tim Anderson, he got a wife, and his wife is named something Anderson, but this lady named Deja Lane. Deja Lane came out and she said, "Yeah, well, me and Tim Anderson, we've been banging for a couple of few years now." And when I say banging, I'm trying to be, I don't try to be politically correct, but I'm just trying to say it in a way that everybody understands and it's not rude and derogatory. And it done got out that dude is doing this, and I mean, dude, you making all this money. They just gave you a bunch of money for the White Sox. And now, and in his defense, I will say this. It's some fine sisters in Chicago. Trust me. That's all I'm saying. And you better look. There's some fine sisters in Chicago. Yo, you're on the Bub and Wax show. Hustle Carter on the board. Bub is invisible. This is No Static Radio, the voice of the revolution. And I'm Wax. What's your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, this is John Solomon, man, calling from Minneapolis, man.
Oh, here we go, Hustle, with the Juicy Lucy's.
Yeah. What's going on?
Yeah, what's up? What's up, man? I mean, I couldn't understand, man. I was looking at the news and they were telling me the particular states that don't celebrate or have a day off for Juneteenth.
Yep.
Don't have a day off of work and don't celebrate it as a federal holiday where people have the day off. I'm like, Ohio? I mean, they can pull that shit out in Utah and in them red states down there, but Ohio? What's up with y'all, man?
Wait, hold on, bro. Where you from? England?
I'm in Minneapolis, man. This is a day off, bro.
No. I just had to go Denzel Washington and Soldier Story on you, bro. Cause where was you born? Not Minneapolis.
I was born in Ohio, but I mean, I'm like, y'all supposed to be downtown chopping the damn city hall down.
Well, you know what they
had
had
or whatever. Somebody or down in Columbus doing something because come on, man, this is our day.
Well, let me say this, and me and Hustle, we seem to be in agreement on this. We have other people who don't agree with us, and you probably don't. However, they've been having events like since Friday, concerts downtown on the mall, and Juneteenth over here, Juneteenth over there. They had so much Juneteenth, they disrespected the fathers on Father's Day. Now, as far as the state of Ohio not recognizing it, and it's a federal holiday because all the banks closed, the libraries closed, all that type of stuff.
Okay.
But as far as like private companies, and even the state, state workers, they got off. So
yeah.
But and all the federal workers. So but a lot of companies, they not giving their workers off unless they say you can take some comp time, you can do this, but we not giving y'all Juneteenth. Remember when Martin Luther King Day was a national holiday and the crackers were still saying, "Oh, you ain't getting off with pay." Not here. They doing Juneteenth the same way. Now they had a bunch of wonderful things, I guess, for Juneteenth because I was reading a list of them and some of the things that they will be doing. However, I'm like this. I've been like this. I'm going to stay like this. Most people in America don't even know the origins of Juneteenth.
No, they don't.
But, and two, because you're going to come at me after this. And I'm like this. The people down in Galveston and all them parts of Texas, because I tell people it's a Texas holiday. It's not a Ohio holiday. It's just not.
No, this is the thing about it. Is they made the whole legend about Galveston, Texas. That wasn't the only places where they were keeping black people still locked up for those 2 years since 1863.
Of course.
That wasn't the only one. That's just the one that the troops went down there and introduced General Order Number 3 and said, I'm gonna lead y'all out. They still was doing that shit down in Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana too.
If you look around then, there's probably still somebody on a plantation down there. In Ohio,
yeah, they are.
A lot of us call Ohio a southern state, but it's just above the Mason-Dixon line. Because these are racist people outside of Columbus, Dayton, Toledo, Cleveland, and I ain't even I'm gonna give Cincinnati a little bit of love, but there's some crackers down there in Cincinnati, which is right off by Blue Ash, Ohio. Don't get caught in Blue Ash, Ohio. That's called a sundown town. Now, the thing is, outside of that, it ain't nothing but what that man said in what's the Officer of the Gentleman? Ain't nothing over there but stairs and quiz, and which one is you? Now you done had me go Lou Gossett, Denzel Washington. Hey, there go Miss Decisive. What's up? But the thing is, I could give two shits about Juneteenth. I ain't from Texas. Hold on. If them black people,
but you don't mean that, man.
Oh yes, I do, cause I ain't celebrating no Juneteenth, nothing. All I know is this. They. Oh, that was some funny noise. But the thing is, you know, and it's a choice thing. I mean, if I'm at work, so I wouldn't get no damn holiday anyway. But and retirement is nice, isn't it, young man?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Very much so.
So, and you know, I mean, hey, if they found out 2 years too late, and the ones, cause they could be having one in Kansas too, cause people don't know. Kansas had a whole bunch of slaves out there working in them wheat fields, and they didn't tell them that they was free.
And they was keeping black people that had escaped down in Mexico slaves until 1867, so that's 4 years later.
Well, they went there and they put that stuff in their hand. Their name was Tito and Joseo.
But we still can say, man, it's just something to market for black folks.
And all they did was market.
And for black folks to police other black folks' blackness. Like, oh, you don't
like it actually was overdue. It actually was overdue. We deserved that particular day because a lot of us never respected the 4th of July any damn way. But
of course not.
The reason why it was passed last year is because after the uprisings over George Floyd, they said, if we don't give these motherfuckers something, it's going to be another 1968 out here. They're going to burn every damn thing down that they can get a hold until they get their respect.
Okay, now let me say this.
They jumped on this.
Let me say this, and this is the reason why I ain't a Juneteenth guy. I can't be on Juneteenth's team because 2 years before Juneteenth was made a national holiday, because I call it the old bait and switch. They tricked us. They tricked us again. Now, the John Lewis Voters' Rights Act bill been sitting there now for 3 fucking years, and they gonna pass Juneteenth. Let's throw these niggas a bone. And then they gonna be out celebrating Juneteenth, black, green, and red, and all that. But they stealing your votes in Georgia. They gonna be stealing your votes in Ohio. They changing all these freaking laws that you ain't gonna have no vote. And guess where you gonna be after that? Waiting for the next Juneteenth, because your ass gonna be picking cotton.
No, not me.
I can't. Yeah, I know.
Me. I ain't worried about it.
But
the bottom line is, I'm gonna enjoy this, and I'm gonna make sure, just like we've been doing, that all of our kids and our families have an understanding of what this is all about. It doesn't matter about that thing. That's a whole different fight.
But that fight been sitting there forever, and they ain't even looking at it.
But if we look at it as them giving us some whatever damn shit, we ain't doing nothing anyway, because we ain't supposed to be waiting to be getting anything.
Well, what's the name?
We're supposed to be taking what we're supposed to be, and that's the reason why we're supposed to be stepping up and running for offices to get in there and change this game.
Well, all I can say about that is vote Marquita Butler in the city of Brooklyn Center. She's the best councilwoman they ever had. Actually, she should be the mayor of Brooklyn Center. And she could probably hold down the job as the mayor of Minneapolis. But vote Butler, y'all. I love her. Best councilwoman in the whole state of Minnesota.
But she ain't running again this year. She's already. She don't have to run this year. She's still in there.
Oh well, hey.
We got things locked up here. We got things locked up, so I ain't even worried about that down there. I'm just enjoying these celebrations on. There's been 14 of them. I done been through between Friday night and today. And
how many of them had barbecue?
It's hot as hell. It's been
like 100 up there.
Yeah, and it's been 90 something the whole freaking weekend. So I'm passing whatever the rest they got up this afternoon on. I done ate enough barbecue and everything else, and heard enough speeches.
Well, let me ask you this. Now I know for a fact, and I'm gonna show you the difference between the great state of Ohio, because I love Ohio. I was born here, raised here. Cleveland is always gonna be the shit, the real shit, and nothing but the shit. But I know when you was going to them events, they was giving people free shit, wasn't they? They were giving them some food. They were giving them some ice cream. They were giving them something, wasn't they? When you go,
hell no, man.
Oh, they wasn't getting. Oh no, so y'all like Ohio. Y'all ain't getting shit for Juneteenth unless y'all got some green teeth.
No, he ain't getting nothing. He ain't getting nothing for free. And these are all.
They ain't even give the kids no ice cream.
We ain't talking about that. I ain't been to one white organized event this whole weekend there, because they ain't been there. Everything's been organized by the different black communities up here, and everything's been solid and beautiful.
Well,
we had nothing.
If it's Juneteenth,
we had nothing pop off at none of these.
Well, good.
The one that I had organized Saturday, I was there on the whole day. We have one negative thing pop off there the whole day, and we must have had about 600 people there enjoying themselves.
Well, I mean, I know that because you well respected up there, and you know how to organize. And I mean, the thing is, they ain't give away no free stuff. They don't even, because here they don't give away no free stuff either. You know, and then
these people up here ain't giving away nothing.
Then they raised the prices on their little food truck. Polish boy regular $4. When it's Juneteenth, that bitch $7.50. Kiss my ass.
Exactly.
Fuck Juneteenth.
Exactly.
I want the John Lewis Voters' Rights Act passed. Then I might look at Juneteenth in a different way, because I've always looked at Juneteenth as them niggas down there didn't even get the message.
Yeah. But that ain't that. You talking about a totally different time to where they were saying because I wish you would think about walking off this plantation. You better get your ass back to work. And they was killing anybody that came down there to tell them they could leave.
Well, you know what them.
We talking about a different time, and then when you talk about that, just 60 years ago, hell, our own people couldn't just do what the hell they want to. My own grandfather, if he did something outside of what he's supposed to, he'd have lost his job and his damn family would have starved. So
no, my
grandfather. Did what the man said do. They did what the man said do.
Well, you know what? Your grandfather, my grandfather would have found a way to feed his family, because he was also an entrepreneur on the side. So okay.
Yeah.
The city of Cleveland did well by him, but he did well by them too for all them freaking 30+ years he worked for them. So
exactly.
And I understand.
But I went with him down there a couple of times. I saw how he had to talk to the man so he can get his damn paycheck. That's just the way it was. He's still a human being. He's still a human being. But that's why our folks went through the 50s and 60s mentally having to deal with that damn trauma of having to be code switch and be freaking subservient to be able to survive.
Oh, well, I mean, I understand that, but you're talking about the 60s. You're talking about the 50s. Yeah. You're talking about, actually, I think he might have started working in the 40s. I don't know. But I know he wasn't standing for no bullshit.
No, he wasn't standing for no bullshit, but he wasn't going to miss no paycheck either.
No, because his wife was going to make sure he had to get that check. Ain't nothing changed when you got a beautiful sister in your life and you working hard and she taking care of the household. She might be working too nowadays, but I bet you going to bring that check home.
That's right.
Oh, and I forgot to say, we opened with the great David Porter and Isaac Hayes. They wrote that The Masquerade Is Over. David Porter is underrated as a writer for Stax Records.
David Porter was a great writer.
I know he wrote mostly all the Isaac Hayes stuff, but don't nobody want to say David Porter need to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a songwriter.
Yeah, well, I know he needs to be. He down in the Stax. He down there in the Stax Museum down there.
Of course.
I've seen his stuff down there. They got a whole section on David Porter down there.
Well, and he need to
have down there in Memphis.
He need to have that whole section up here in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, based upon the fact that he a better songwriter than a lot of them dudes in there. And I mean, I just all you got to do is he made 2 albums. The Masquerade Is Over, and he made another album which the title slips my mind. But them 2 albums was like nothing that was going on during that time in the music industry. Nowhere.
Right.
And him and Isaac Hayes, they wrote
that. He wrote for so many people. He wrote for
He wrote for the Staple Singers. He even wrote something for my man, Otis Redding.
He wrote stuff for what's my man, the blues singer, Johnny, what's his name?
Johnny Guitar Washington?
No.
I didn't think Johnny Guitar. I thought he was from Chicago.
Yeah, nah. Well, yeah, but he's originally from down that way. Everybody from Chicago from originally down that way.
Well, Memphis and Mississippi.
The ones that there's some that came directly from Mississippi. In fact, Mississippi, they used to call Chicago the suburbs of Mississippi. there's some that stopped over in Memphis and then might have came up later. But shit, damn near everybody black is in Chicago from Mississippi.
Well, like they said, a lot of people from Mississippi, they went to Chicago. A lot of people from Alabama went to Detroit. And then a lot of people...
Everybody up here in Minnesota, there are these fools up here in Minnesota they from Chicago, they'll tell you. When I asked them, in fact, I was talking to somebody out here Saturday night, sitting in my backyard. I said, she talking about Chicago this. I said, where you people originally from? Jackson, Mississippi. Shit. You know, they are. I mean, this is just part of the migration. There's so many jobs and shit up here, they got to get out of Chicago. Yeah. So, you know how we are. We've been that way since we started leaving the plantation. It's like, you know, wherever the jobs are, we mean well and want to go get them. Now, sometimes we take some badass behavior with us, but we mean well. We came to Cleveland meaning well.
Well, as long as y'all bring them pig feet with y'all, I'm cool. That's all I got to say. But no, I understand what you're saying. The Great Migration to the North after World War II.
The migration
started in the 20s.
1906.
Well, I ain't talking about way back then. They ain't even had no damn covered wagons. Now they got drop top cars, but they ain't had no covered wagons. I'm thinking like maybe in the mid-20s, you got a lot of to me, I think the Great Migration started then. I'm not gonna say 1906 because I'm trying to figure out how they got there. Harriet Tubman.
The man woke up at night. They were sharecropping. The man woke up at night, and them fools did just like they did in Roots. They got behind that wagon, and they pushed that shit off far enough so it wouldn't be heard. Then they all loaded up and got the hell out of there at nighttime. Man woke up in the morning and everybody was gone.
Excuse me, say that again? Oh, go ahead. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. That's how they did. All they needed was one good mule.
Hold on. No, go ahead. I'm listening to you, Neil. I'm on the radio right now.
One good mule to get your ass about 200 miles.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I understand. I mean, I think and it was ironic because I was just, chilling. Sometimes you just ear hustle when you don't even want to be ear hustling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's meant to be. I heard somebody say Clarksdale, Mississippi. I turned around and I was like, you know what? What you know about Clarksdale, Mississippi? And they started talking about Clarksdale, Mississippi. And I was like, well, I got nothing but love for you because the I mean, I don't even know how to put it, but my grandma, who was the smartest person I knew, who ain't graduated from college and all that other nonsense, she's from Clarksdale, Mississippi. And we had a conversation. You know what I'm saying? I don't know as much about it as you do because you did that, you know, that genealogy stuff.
Yeah, her father was the manager of a group of sharecroppers. In fact, he didn't have to work. All he had to do was check up on other black sharecroppers and make sure that they was doing the work.
Did he make sure they got their money, sharecropping?
Yeah, he made sure they got their money. That wasn't his issue. His issue was to make sure they was working. That kept the man off his family's back.
Well, I love my grandma, and she was born there, man, and it ain't but a stone's throw from Memphis.
Yeah.
I call that Memphis wing of our family the first 48 part of the family. I love them dearly. But, I mean, you know, it's just like, it's so, things like that happen because I'm like, Clarksdale, Mississippi. The hell you know about Clarksdale, Mississippi? And I ain't, actually, I ain't never been to Clarksdale, Mississippi. I've been to Memphis.
You went down there at the reunion.
I didn't go down there to Clarksdale. I think we was at the casino, and I was winning about $3,000.
Well, you went over there at that community center and ate over there that Saturday.
Oh, I don't remember that, man. What year was that? That when they had the big
2013.
Was that when they had that big ass thing of bologna and they was spinning it around and cooking it?
When I went over there looking, they was frying fish and they hid the fish and put a big giant ass thing of bologna on it.
Yeah, they had some bologna on the spigot and they were turning it around. Oh, Lord Jesus. That was the best bologna I had in a long time. That was cool. But, yeah, so, I mean, it's always good to talk to you.
Yeah.
And, you know, it ain't nothing but love. Because I can't have nothing but love
right
for
on,
you,
man.
dude.
Right on, man. Like I say, I'm done with these. I done ate enough rib tips and shit for my whole year, so I'm finna chill now.
All right, well, you go ahead on and chill, and I'm gonna go ahead on and get to another part of this program that we got going on here. And when Minnesota get there,
all right, well, I'm listening in there, man.
Well, Minnesota coming up there, Cleveland coming up there to Minnesota to beat somebody in baseball and get back in first place. Have a good day.
Yeah, I'm going to game tomorrow, so I'll be there. I'm always at the Cleveland games.
Oh, okay, ain't no wrong with it. I mean,
no, hell no.
I mean, I got to get up there. Period.
Yeah, hell no. And then Wednesday, I think Wednesday is the afternoon game, and I always go to the 1 o'clock to the afternoon games. So I know I got tickets to a couple of them this week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. I usually take the kids there, you know.
Oh, yeah, them kids. I love them kids. I ain't seen none of them, man, all year. So I mean, I got to get to Minneapolis, man, because they
well, you gotta come up and chill at one of these Guardian Twins games with me, man. So just sit back and chill, man.
And I'm had to go here because they the Cleveland Indians baseball club. Then the Guardians, I don't even know. Oh, the Guardians happen to be the Cleveland roller derby team. You know we got a roller derby team named the Guardians, right?
Yeah.
And the
Indians,
yeah,
they had to fight for that name. Yeah.
Yeah, the Indians paid them very well, and they still the Guardians too. But to me, they're always gonna be the tribe. Now I ain't running around no Wahoo stuff.
I got all my Guardians. I got all my Guardians apparel and stuff. So I'm out there. Plus, I always have good tickets because I get mine from the veterans ticket saying free, and they put me right above the dugout. So I'm right there every time. If you seen it on TV and look at the Indians dugout, I'm right there, sitting right up there behind it. I'm right down low, yelling at Sandy Alomar.
Well, check this out, and I can shift gears like on a dime and don't lose no time. But check out a documentary. It's on Spotify. It's a mini documentary series. It's called A Day in Accra, Ghana, and it's Kendrick Lamar.
Accra, yeah.
Yeah, Accra.
That's where I was at.
Yeah, well, Kendrick Lamar, he was over there, and he shot a mini documentary over there. It's on Spotify. Check it out. We always try to pump somebody else's shit. Okay, well, have a nice day. We got a visitor coming in our studio right now.
All right, man.
All right, I love you. Be safe up there.
Care.
Okay, no doubt. Hey, this is No Static Radio. This is the voice of the revolution. I'm Wax. That's Hustle Carter on the board.
Yeah.
Bub is invisible. Well, we love him still. And
got Big Hustle. If you want to get on the mic, man, get on the mic.
Hey, we got one to go today.
Yeah.
Come on, you have a seat. And I'm gonna let you do the honors, Hustle, of introducing them. Just based upon the fact I heard you twice the first time. I like that T-shirt. It's gonna work. Hey, let me make y'all a real funny right quick. Oh, and Drake. And you know how everybody talk about Drake. His work ain't that good this time, and they don't like his what he dropped and all this other stuff. But he opened up with 230,000 units. You know, Drake, this album is more like when an artist go away from what they normally do, people seem to like look at him and want to look at him sideways, roll their eyes, and say it ain't no good. But this album is got a lot of dance music on it, and I say this: dance music will save a person's life. It'll save a person's soul, and it just will save you because dancing is like, it's something that we do in celebration, and we got all this different style doing it. They got something up here, they got something down there, they got something over there. Like I was just telling my brother, the people down in Memphis in our family, they dance their ass off.
It don't even matter. It ain't about that.
Oh no, because I just like the music.
What it is what they say, when you get out the hood, you gotta get out the hood. They ain't give Drake $400 million to keep making trap music.
And that's what somebody said. I read that exactly in the article.
Drake, Michael Jackson was going to China and stuff like that. Drake is out the hood. He can't keep making music. He done made music for y'all. He come back, he'll make y'all some more music, but it ain't y'all time right now.
But and somebody said that
he an international artist.
He can't be dropping trap songs all his life.
Like
it makes sense.
Like when Lil Durk said he was better than Michael Jackson. Like that ain't true because you're not an international artist. They ain't give you big money to go
China.
And get
he ain't even did a tour in England, have you?
Nah.
So you need
with
to get
Lil Baby. You ain't even smoking weed with Lil Baby
and
there at
James Harden
at the Eiffel Tower.
You want to introduce our guest, bro?
Yeah. That's
I had to hang up on my
Pops. That's my Pops. Happy Father's Day belated. We here.
Yes, sir. Happy Father's Day.
And from Tennessee, aka Pops, aka Big Hustle. Yeah.
This come in Tennessee, on the Bristol side, because I know a lot of people ain't gonna know where that is.
No, I'm familiar with Bristol, Tennessee, but everybody ain't gonna know.
But it's not close to Memphis.
Oh, it's on way on the other side. I understand.
Yeah, it's way on the other side. Probably wouldn't be recognizable. Maybe to NASCAR fans.
Yeah.
People like to go around the track high speed, but it's on that side.
Oh, okay.
Closer to
Bristol Speedway is down there.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Right.
I'm an Odell Earnhardt and Richard Petty type of guy. Number 43. I like Richard Petty so much. I've had 43 as my number when I played football.
Oh yeah.
And it was because I liked Richard Petty. Okay. But yeah. I just want to thank you for giving me No Static Radio, all of Cleveland, man. You gave us Hustle Carter, man. This dude, man,
Yeah.
from day one.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about that when you was saying that, talking about the dancing and how it could save lives, which is a good thing too, because his mom danced all the way till he got here.
So, I think I've seen people do that before.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like different nowadays,
Yeah.
Back in the day, you could maybe take at least maybe 2 or 3 days off.
But hey, I understand that. It's funny because we don't have this funny part to me because I find it very amusing that you know somebody was like, "Hey, you going to the club tonight?" And they would talk to another person, and I'm thinking club. They was like, "Yeah." So I just happened to ask young folks, "Where the club at?" They was like saying, "The room." I say, "The room? That's a bar." And it's a hole in the wall bar at that, right up there on Superior. Ain't it, Mr. Decisive? You've been to the room before when they used to jam. But the thing was, I'm like, because they called the bar the club now. And when we grew up, no offense to them, because if that's how they roll, that's how they roll. You had bars, and I never really frequented bars, but you had dance clubs, you had nightclubs like Bell's Red Carpet. That wasn't no bar. That was a place where the best went to dance. If you went up to Bell's and you couldn't dance, get the hell off the dance floor. They had a club called The Spot, the Cocoa Ballroom. We used to go out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we'd go back on Wednesday to the Road South right across the street at Fat Glenn's at Cleveland State. So, and we used to dance. It wasn't about no, we going there to the mean mug and stare.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say.
The only thing.
When you done shot up all the dance clubs, then the bar becomes the dance club.
And they gonna shoot them up, I guess. But no, so, I heard a lot about you.
Oh,
Because,
okay.
That's my dude right there. We hit it off from day 2 because I heard him twice the first time. Like they said. But that's a slick T-shirt, y'all. Y'all need to check it out, man. I love it already. Okay, but no,
that's what he do too. He making them. That's the hustle. That's the hustle. Yeah, he made that.
This is one of my designs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you need to go ahead on.
Yeah.
What you did you make any Juneteenth shit? Because they were suckers on Juneteenth all weekend long.
No, I got to get prepared for next week, next year already. I got to start making preparation.
Yeah, you got to.
Preparation.
Oh yeah, well it definitely be in the works because it's just a little busy.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool.
Busy, I'm kind of taking a break. Maybe about 3 or 4 days anyway. I'm gonna try to be a caregiver for at least about, like I say, about 4 days. Be a caregiver, who knows? One of these days, I might need a caregiver.
Right?
So I figured I'd go ahead and put that in the layaway.
Well, yeah, you do it. When the time comes, the man upstairs, he gonna make sure you had the right one. Cause I just did it. I was doing it, with my mom before my mom. She passed away on Christmas Eve, and like I told you about the other day, I ain't got nothing to do.
Right.
Cause that's where I was, and that's what I did. And hey, I always tell people Monday is a long day for me because I got to come here, then we got to go do the group after this. So I love and I cherish Mondays now because this is what we do. We sit up here and we get to talk. We get to give out information to help people. We get to give out information for other people to harm people. We give out information if you like music. Somebody told me y'all do the dead rapper section. Y'all shouldn't do that. Why? Since 2018, about 150 of them died at the hands of each other. I mean, they got the women gangbangers out here not tripping. But I mean, and they all in the rap game, which is, you know, it's cool with me, as long as they leave me alone. And Boosie Badass, I love Boosie Badass. He bad dude, man. He the only one that grew up that wasn't Lil no more. Cause Lil Wayne they didn't even let Lil Wayne in England. They said turn the plane around, Lil Wayne. You got too many damn tattoos on your face. You are not entering the country. And who did? Oh, they called Ludacris up. He was playing at the music festival over there. They called Ludacris up real fast and put Luda out there on the stage. He probably came in and was making more money than all of them.
Oh, yeah.
That's called Ludacris, and he part of that franchise too, that Fast and Furious. That's that real money.
Yeah.
That's what David Banner said. He said, "You think this rap money is good? Wait till you see a movie check."
Well, see, that's another thing about. Well, see, I guess not to say anything about any of them's accolades, because all of them do it.
Yeah, they doing their thing.
All of them do it, but like you say, they all don't go down the same path, because Ludacris even got the indie connection.
Oh yeah, you know who had it. Hustle done heard me say this before. Before he got in trouble, remember T.I.? He was on freaking Chevrolet commercials with Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yeah.
See, he was on his way to getting that Ludacris type of money
Yeah.
or that Drake type of money. But he went to Cincinnati that weekend and they wanted to play with guns.
Yeah.
And now he want to get alleged charges of
Of,
into this sexual
yeah,
kidnapping. Want to play R. Kelly role.
Hold people against their will and then touch them improperly. We don't like people that touch women or men improperly on this show. And y'all need to stop if y'all doing it, because y'all can go to jail. Because T.I. think he in the clear. And man, Tiny with her funny sounding ass. They gonna get some long probation time if they don't have to sit down. And they're gonna make T.I. go sit down. Shit.
Right. Pay somebody some money.
But no, it's a difference, because it's just like you say, it's a difference when you get to the Michael Jackson level or the Prince level, and Kendrick Lamar, he over there in Africa doing documentary. He just dropped something last month.
And then they won't say they didn't like that. They don't care. It's 6 billion people in China.
and they listening to it.
Even if it's the first time.
You know what? And Kendrick Lamar is there, man. I mean, how you gonna say you don't like somebody's stuff? First you don't like Kendrick Lamar stuff, then you don't like Drake stuff, but you gonna buy it. And you gonna have it in your rotation. Then after you listen to it a little while, you like, this is really
But
good.
how did you form that opinion? You had to listen to it.
Right.
You always say that, bro.
Yeah.
And I mean, cause I'm like, I shake my head sometimes because people be tripping. That's like back in my day, which wasn't too long ago. If the Dramatics dropped something, and I'm like, I'm going to get it.
Right.
And because they was dropping. That was one of my favorites there. But then they did an album, The Dales versus the Dramatics. That's so remember that one? That was a classic album, but to me it was the Dales, and then and because the Dramatics only had like about maybe 3-4 songs on that album, and the Dales had everything else. But and it was cool because the Dales versus the Dramatics. And every damn black person in Cleveland was downtown at that record store trying to get that shit.
Sometimes it's hard to judge, say a performance, by two different, groups, because, to me, in order for it to be a real comparison, competition, evaluation, or whatever it is, you would think you would have to set the stage, because, or like I say, at least have a story.
Yeah, well, and then too, I agree with you 100%.
So that way, the comparison would be.
Yeah, you can look at them and weigh.
I'm not gonna say fair. The comparison would be more accurate.
And I agree with you.
You
Well, and then to a lot of them groups, because they were called groups, then they had some, they could really sing, y'all.
Right.
But a lot of them was like, boom, okay, everybody loved the Temptations. People like the Motown sound.
They could always sing, but it was always one though. It was always one. That one.
Well, and it's always
Y'all
that one
ain't-
is always the one with that high ass falsetto voice.
Y'all ain't nothing without David Ruffin. You heard me?
David Ruffin.
And then Bobby Brown, David Ruffin didn't make it up, but Bobby Brown did. Bobby Brown said, "Yeah, I'm gonna do mine." Bobby Brown got lucky though. I'm gonna do my own thing.
Right.
And he did. He was cool. But then remember they had the tour and they didn't invite Bobby Brown, and Bobby Brown showed up anyway. And without he went just took over the shit, took his shirt off, and the rest of them they just standing there looking, and they got the biggest ovations for Bobby Brown.
Yeah. Well, see that
with some hoes and some cocaine.
see that move right there, that's
I don't drink no more though.
And anything else, whether it's football, baseball, hockey, or whatever, there's gonna be that one.
Yeah.
And like you were saying a minute ago, how they talking about they didn't like Drake and they don't like this. See, that's your fault.
Then you want missing out.
I mean, look at the last video. Look at the last video they made with Jack Harlow, Drake and Jack Harlow. The last video they made is Churchill Downs. They made a video at the Kentucky Derby, right? At Churchill Downs. Y'all not even going to Churchill Downs, right? He ain't making a video for y'all in the hood, okay? And now, in the next video he made, he with some Jewish rabbis. He done married about 20. He a polygamist in his new video. He got 20. He got about 20 wives. He done married 20 women. Drake is on different. He not in the whatever y'all want him to be, man.
You know what? And you're right. And
he's not even from America for real. He's from Canada.
That's Larry Graham's nephew from Sly and Family Stone and Grand Central Station. Right. That's his nephew.
Right.
But
Justin Bieber and all them, they done tricked y'all. They done came and
got
y'all money.
And y'all coming across the border
and y'all thinking these
without a passport.
He not even from. He not even from America. Drake ain't caring about y'all. He going back to Canada. Him and Justin Bieber.
With his Lyme disease carrying ass.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. That's to me, that's one of those things. How are you going to scrutinize somebody's business?
Well, you can't.
Right.
But see, people. Well, you know what? And I don't know, but people in music, like in sports, people tend to pick sides.
You know who Drake trying to please? Drake got one person to please, and that's the person that gave him that $400 million. That $400 million check. Well, everybody else is irrelevant.
You know how I feel about Drake.
How are you gonna come in and say, "Well, I don't think he should be doing that"?
Well, guess what? The hell with them. Because anytime you can rent Dodger Stadium, rent it for a night to have dinner with a woman that you're trying to get with,
right?
And it go off without a flaw, no problems, everything went well, then you got more than clout.
Right.
Shit, you a motherfucking international star, and that's what Drake did.
Yeah.
So he had to know Magic Johnson connection. He had to know what's his name, Fred, whatever name, owner of the Dodgers. You got to know these people. You ain't just gonna call them because they ain't answer your call. They ain't answer Lil Durk's calls, but they answer when Drake called.
Y'all renting those G4s and G5s. Y'all renting those. Yeah. Drake owned a 757. Yeah. Own it.
Well, and that's just music. This is No Static Radio, the voice of the revolution.
He like my dude with his crazy butt, James Brown. James Brown was the first black man to own a private jet.
Yeah.
James Brown was a bad dude.
I don't know if gangster is too strong of a word, but
hey,
not on this show.
So you messing with Drake? Drake, he's a bad man too. So
that's what I'm saying. It's just like, hey,
Jake remind me of a James Brown, so you better know how to count when you count your chips. You better know how to count your chips.
You ask Boosie Collins. Boosie Collins worked for James Brown for about 2 weeks. I had to get away from that nigga.
Yeah.
Because I was going to kill him about my money.
Yeah, he came up to try to see. He was talking about that when they worked down there in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
He said James Brown, they was in that practice and they been there rehearsing for a song or just coming up with grooves in the studio. Said James Brown recorded their rehearsal and then they come out. By the time they come out of the studio, it's on the radio. So they done had somebody record it. Yeah, they done had somebody record it. Be like, dang, didn't we just play that song? Where that's coming from? It be on the radio. That's how slick James Brown is.
Yeah, well, James Brown need to stop. Oh yeah, well he'll stop now. And actually, they finally done straightened out his will and all them wives and all them kids.
Yeah.
And then none of them get nothing.
It was funny, man, because Boosie, man, he was here and he told us that about James Brown. Then they went to work for a dude, Funkadelic, with George Clinton. That guy had to get out of James Brown because he said he was the one, because Boosie was the baby. His brother is the one big older than him, how they got called up there. But he said, Boosie said, James Brown, they said, James Brown liked you because he was cool with Boosie because he was the youngest. He thought he could control him.
Yeah, he could trick him.
Yeah, so they was like, you cool with James Brown. He said, he went to tell James Brown they need some more money. And he said James Brown gave him a plane ticket. He said gave out him a plane ticket back home.
Sound like James Brown to me.
But he said that's how they started. Like, it was a band on stage and they were talking about some money. And he said James Brown flew them down to Georgia and they didn't know what was going on. They never practiced with him or nothing. Said James Brown flew them down to Georgia. They got on the stage. They didn't know that the band was on strike and they crossed the picket line. And they didn't know that James Brown was set up. They set him up. Yay. So they go out there and play. He said, we go out there and play. We don't know none of the songs. We don't know. He said, all we knew was the keys of the song. They would say, this is in E flat minor. Then they get to playing. And everybody, James Brown hit me one time. He's like, man, we just had to make it work.
Well, I mean, and I say this, and everybody loved James Brown. And James Brown, they say, and we could go in this. Anybody that's familiar with Jackie Wilson,
Yeah.
they said James Brown stole Jackie Wilson's act. So James Brown was shady for a long time. But the first concert I ever saw in my life, and I done saw over maybe 250 concerts since then. My mother, she let me and my brother, his birthday May 5th, my birthday May 6th. And she took us, well, my oldest brother that just called, took us to Public Auditorium, and we saw James Brown. And James Brown, it's just like freaking amazing, man. And another quick James Brown story, like my dude, Mitch, Mitch, you had the money on your boy.
Yeah.
When him and his father, they used to have that store, but they had another store, and he said this was like maybe about 1969 or whatever. He said this white limousine pulled up.
Yeah.
And was just sitting there. And he was wondering why the limousine was sitting there. Somebody came in to the store, got out the limousine, and they ordered some food and stuff. So he needed a hand carrying it back out. So the back door slung open, and he said James Brown sitting in there with all white on head to toe.
Yeah.
And James Brown said, "Do you got my cheeseburger?" I'm like, James Brown, you a dirty motherfucker. But James Brown cold though. James Brown, you talk about getting people to cross picket lines. When the riots was going down after King was assassinated, the mayor of Boston, crooked ass, racist ass to this day, Boston, Bub, the only thing I like up there is the Celtics. And if you feel any other way, Bub, I'm going to call you, tell you to kiss my ass. And somebody sitting in your seat, too. You might be out of a job. But they called him up there, and James Brown gave a free concert. And they figured if they do that and James Brown did what he did, they wouldn't riot in Boston. Guess what? And he went and spoke